Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's what it
The
looks like.
amoebas, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, I was behind.
It won't let me heal you. I'm trying. Where is he? I'm shooting.
Fuck.
Yep. Still over there and on the right.
Just hitting all shots. Like again,
He's
just
gonna throw a
everybody.
Yep. Sorry,
Just
man.
everybody running into.
Dude, he got me right here. Dima. Coming around. Dima got moves. Oh, he's C4'd! Did you see that?
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Juke gameplay, and today we're going to talk about the possibility of loadouts being added into the core game of Rogue Company. So let's head over and check it out. So as you can see here, this is a screenshot from the newest This Week in Rogue Company. First one we had since March, by the way, guys. But we finally got a This Week in Rogue Company, and this image was part of that video. So as you can see here, this is someone that has been playing a respawn game mode, and they died, and it pops up on their screen, change loadout. Now, what exactly does change loadout mean? I think that on one hand, you can say that change loadout is something in the ballpark of like, okay, you can go back and you can purchase weapons and upgrades and things like that. Or is it something more along the lines of this right here? This is a YouTube video that I did not upload, by the way, so don't get all upset at me, developers, but this is a video of the Rogue Company mobile beta test that was uploaded on July the 7th, and as you can see here, this has the loadout sections here. As we go into it, you can see where the P12K is. You also see that they have different access to these perk or weapon modifications here on the left hand side, and these modifications do different things, such as this one, piercing rounds, allows bullets to pierce through enemies. And then also we're going to go into the assault rifles, and we are looking here at the MXL Mark IV. When you go through this, you have different perks such as piercing rounds, you have marksman, you have increased body damage, you have extended mags, which increases the size of the magazine, rapid fire increases the fire rate of the weapon, and things like that. Now, do I think that this is a good system to bring into Rogue Company? And currently, as of right now, I would say absolutely not. I don't think that this is a good system to bring into Rogue Company at this particular moment. And the reason why is I think that this changes the game on such a fundamental level that it's no longer going to feel like what Rogue Company has felt like to all of us that's been playing the game since it was in closed beta or even alpha. I think that this is an interesting idea, and I think that it works for Rogue Company mobile, but on the whole, I think that this is something that probably wouldn't work very well in the full release of the game that we currently have now for consoles and PC. But if they did decide to introduce a system like this, the developers are going to have to go in and they are actually going to have to think about this in terms of how will this impact the game? How will this impact the time to kill for the game, like overall right now, because the time to kill currently doesn't feel terrible. It doesn't feel like it's the best time to kill that we've had, but it absolutely feels better than some of the time to kills that they've tried in the past. Whenever you start increasing magazine size, increasing bullet damage, adding piercing damage, having the ability to change the fire rate of the weapons, that changes the time to kill for that specific weapon in a very, very astronomical way. It basically takes something that has a time to kill of a baseline of about here, and once you start adding stuff to it, it may wind up right up here. And that's just the way that it works, man. That's the way that the weapons in Call of Duty work. That's the way that any of the weapons in any multiplayer shooter works. Whenever you put the right attachments on there, whenever you put the right things that actually change how that weapon performs, it changes that time to kill. If it shoots faster but it doesn't do anything to the bullet damage, it makes the time to kill faster. If it increases the ammo count of the weapon, it makes the time to kill longer. If it decreases the fire rate but increases the damage, then theoretically it should stay exactly where it's at. So there's a lot of things that they have to take into consideration. If they were to do something like this, the only way that this would accurately work out, in my opinion, would they would have to go in, they would have to allow you to customize the weapons and loadouts prior to joining a match. Once you join into the match, you are able to purchase upgrades for your specific weapons. If you are applying these weapon modifications to the upgrade paths of your weapon, and each perk or each weapon modification that you had on it at that time actually had a value associated with it for that upgrade path, then I think that that's the only way that it would work. That's the only way that it would make sense when it in this situation. And I think that the economy itself and how you gain cash throughout rounds would actually keep it somewhat balanced. If you're putting these perks on your weapons or these modifications on your weapons, and each one costs $10,000 to $12,000, realistically, you're not going to be able to max your weapon out by the end of the round, by the end of the game, or by halftime or anything like that. It's just not going to make a whole lot of sense for you to put these heavy hitting weapon modifications on there. So then you have to start looking at diversifying your weapon as a whole. Maybe you want to put the increased fire rate, and let's say that that's a $10,000 perk or modification, and then let's say that you want to put the extended ammo on there, 35% more ammo, whatever it was. Let's say that's a $5,000 mod or a $5,000 perk. Well, you have the option to do something like that, and if you do something like that, then yes, you're looking at making an investment of $15,000 to $17,000 just specifically on your weapon. How many rounds of demolition is that before you can actually unlock the second upgrade for your weapon? So I think that it could be done. I think that if they decided to do something like that, it would offer a very unique way of playing the game at that point, because if you were able to put, increased fire rate, increased damage, increased magazine size and things like that on your weapons, then that's going to form this loadout. That's going to form different ways of playing the game with loadouts. It's also probably going to create some type of meta in a huge way. It's kind of like how the perk system worked. It's how like the weapon buffs and the passive worked. They would have to do a complete overhaul of the weapons all along the line. They would have to completely redo the way that these weapons act and how these upgrade paths actually worked. And I think that it would take a lot of time, and I honestly don't think the developers have it in them to invest this kind of time or money or manpower into doing something like this. But like I said, it's not a terrible thing to happen if you let the economy be the thing that balances it out and you assign dollar values to how these weapon upgrades actually work. I could see someone wanting to go for a huge killer weapon that is just like super accurate, that does a super fast fire rate, that does a ton of damage, but that's all they have. All they have is their pistol and their primary, with no perks, with no gadgets, with no nothing. And that could be a viable playstyle for some people. Or you have someone that's a little bit more utility heavy, and maybe some of those weapon modifications play into how the utility works, since we're getting cooldowns in the game now. I think it would open the door for something interesting. I do think it would change the fundamental playstyle of Rogue Company as a whole, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think that this is something that if it's actually thought out and done in a very, very good and very interesting way, that it could be something that would work out. But realistically, what are the odds of that happening? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that having a loadout system like Rogue Company Mobile or Rogue Company Elite, whatever it's called now, do you think that that would be good for Rogue Company as a whole? Do you think that it would be bad? Do you think that it would break the game? Do you think that it would make the game more fun and more balanced? Or what do you think would be the perfect way to do this in order to balance the game out around these weapon modifications? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check the description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. And then also on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. and Sundays from 10 a.m. until I get tired Central Time, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Just, well, why is the demon not on top?
Because of the revives.
Yeah. Oh, it's the revives.